Family Theater presents Joan Leslie and Grant Williams. From Hollywood, the Mutual Network, in cooperation with Family Theater, presents Roadshow, starring Grant Williams. And now, here is your hostess, Joan Leslie.
Thank you, Tony Lafrano. Family Theater's only purpose is to bring to everyone's attention a practice that must become an important part of our lives if we are to win peace for ourselves, peace for our families, and peace for the world. Family Theater urges you to pray. Pray together as a family.
You moved easily from radio to television.
The transition. Mm-hmm. Well, I was very lucky. You see, most of us who had done all that radio in the early days of television, all of the producers and directors and writers of early TV were the radio writers and producers and directors. So I went right into I Love Lucy. Jess Oppenheimer was the producer. Madeline Martin and Bob Carroll were the writers. They had written My Favorite Husband, which was a show that Lucy had done. The Varden Show, the same guy who's directing that, who was directed an E. Varden show on you know. So all of those things. And so, yes, I made a very fortunate transition. I was one of the busiest guys in the early television days.
The man you just heard is Herb Vigran, being interviewed by Chuck Schaden in 1984. He's about to be featured on Family Theater. Family Theater was created by Patrick Peyton of the Holy Cross Fathers. Mutual Broadcasting donated the time under 4 conditions. The show had to be a drama of top quality, strictly non-sectarian, feature a film star, and Father Peyton had to pay the production costs. Peyton met Loretta Young, who advised him on how to approach A-listers. She became the first lady of Family Theater. Between 1947 and 56, there were 482 dramas broadcast, and few used religion of any kind in the plot. However, by September of 1957, Mutual Broadcasting was phasing out radio drama. As Herb Vigran mentioned, Hollywood's character actors were doing as much TV as possible. When Family Theater aired its last episode on Wednesday, September 11th, at 8:35 p.m. Pacific Time over KHJ in Los Angeles, the only other dramatic radio shows on KHJ that night were Gangbusters and Horatio Hornblower. This is from the last episode, fittingly called Roadshow.
And now to our transcribed drama, Roadshow, starring Grant Williams as Charlie.
Hey, Charlie, is that you?
Yeah. Who's that?
I saw the light in your garage.
Pete. Hey, how's everything?
Oh, good. You just get in?
Yeah, we stopped off for dinner in Ventura. Been pretty hot here, huh?
Oh, yeah, 90, 95 the last few days.
Did that Bronson kid keep watering the lawn?
Oh, yeah, every evening, 6 o'clock, front and back.
Good. Good kid.
Hey, where are the girls?
In the house. They're dead. We drove almost 400 miles today.
Yeah. Hey, can I give you a hand with the bags?
No, I'm just going to bring in this one with the pajamas and toothpaste.
Hey, you sound kind of tired.
Yeah, I'll get the rest out tomorrow.
Yeah, well, how was it? The vacation. Did you have a good time?
Oh, great. I think that's a fine choice of words, great. Something that's great can be long of duration or intensity, excellent and delightful, or high and swollen as of a body of water. Great word, great. Means absolutely nothing. Long of duration or intensity. Well, 1,200 miles, but it only took a week. Incredible. Only a week. A week ago this morning, and we were starting out on the road to Bakersfield. That was going to be the first stop, breakfast in Bakersfield. Is everybody happy?
Yes, sirree.
I'll say.
Oh, I tell you, the way I've been looking forward to this. 7 days without having to look at a typewriter.
Now, don't even talk about it.
Not one word.
That's the angle. For the next 7 days, no one even mentions the word plot, story, character, or script. Deal?
Deal. So, I'm getting hungry.
Me too. Where are we stopping for breakfast?
Bakersfield.
Where they had the earthquake?
That was 5 years ago.
Hey, here comes the sign. Everybody read.
New Hall.
Bakersfield?
32 miles.
Is that all?
To Gorman.
Not Gorman.
Turn right 3 miles. That's to New Hall.
I don't want Gorman or Newhall. I want Bakersfield.
Oh, I didn't see anything about...
I saw the word. B-A something.
Well, isn't Gorman about halfway?
That's from Los Angeles. Okay, honey, get out the map.
Oh, Charlie.
If Gorman's halfway, and it said 32 miles, then 2 times 32 is 64.
And when two lines intersect, the opposite angles are equal. But I'd like to look at the map.
You know how I hate those
This is the
things.
little book from the car club. All you have to do is open the page in front and follow the line up to Bakersfield. It's not like the big road map. Go on, it's simple.
Open the front page. All right.
What's it say?
It says Bakersfield.
No, I mean the number. There's a little number near it. What's the number?
I can count at least 7 numbers, and they're all different.
Just below the word Bakersfield is a line leading up from Los Angeles. And on the line, there's a number. What's the number?
22.
22 miles?
Oh, that's closer than we thought.
Not 22 miles. That's the page number.
What?
Turn to page 22 in the book. That'll have the map of Bakersfield.
Charlie, you said it was going to be simple.
It is simple. Betsy could do it. The book is written for idiots.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I am not an idiot, so it won't help me much.
Just turn to page 22, will you? That's all there is to it. Believe me, it gives the mileage and everything.
All right. Spend the whole trip with my nose in a map. 22.
You got it?
22.
You find Bakersfield?
Well, wait a minute.
Right there.
Where?
Top of the page.
Well, it's almost off the page.
You got it now?
Yes.
All right. Now, there's 2 sets of numbers.
Charlie.
Will you wait a minute?
Oh, there's more than that.
For our purposes, there are only 2 sets. Now, just everyone calm down. One set of numbers are inside circles, and the others are right next to the circles. You see them?
Oh, this is insane.
Also, there's a set of numbers inside squares and another outside.
Ignore the squares.
I'm doing my best.
Oh, all the funny women are on the road today.
Got a 0 outside the circle next to Bakersfield. What's that mean?
Simply that Bakersfield is 0 miles from Bakersfield.
Charlie, did they charge you for this map?
That's just the way they indicate the mileage from one place to another. Now, look at the number inside the circle next to the 0.
The one next to Bakersfield?
That's right.
43.
That's the number inside the circle?
43.
That's right.
There you are. That's the mileage. Bakersfield is 43 miles.
Oh.
From where?
What?
From where is Bakersfield 43
From the where
miles?
on the map there.
Oh, fascinating.
Now, wait a minute.
Without this, we could get lost.
From the other 0, that's where. Down at the bottom. 43 miles from the other 0 outside the circle.
The 0 outside the circle is next to Bakersfield.
Then the 0 inside the circle. If it's not one, it's got to be the other. Common sense will
Now,
tell
wait a
you
minute,
that.
wait a minute. Where are we? We're going through a town.
Oh, hey, look for signs. Then we can measure.
The 0 inside the circle is next to Gorman.
Never mind the map. Look for signs in the road.
Oh, I can't find my glasses.
Betsy, here comes one on your side.
Yeah, I see it.
Can you read the words?
Yeah. You are now leaving Bakersfield.
Lilian Buyeff played Helen Blackwell.
Does anybody remember a show called the Dr. Christian?
Oh, yeah.
That was, it was Jean Herschel was Dr. Christian. Rosemary DeCamp was his nurse. The director of that show was Neil Reagan, Ronnie's brother. And Neil Reagan had a great sense of humor, sometimes. But one of the good things about radio for women was that you could have a family, you could be pregnant, you could, I worked until 5 days before my daughter was born. And I remember working that show. It was an audience show. It was an evening audience show where you got dressed up, and it was kind of, those few things. And Neil Reagan purposely cast me in a part where one of the lines I would have to say was, "I'm to be married next week." I was about 8 months pregnant at the time. Well, I was so nervous because I wondered, how can I kind of swallow this so it just isn't heard too well? And I did pretty good, but I looked in the booth, and he wasn't that. He'd fallen down. He was just roaring under the table. So Then I remember Virginia Gregg and I were pregnant at the same time, at one time. And we were I forgot the name of the show. But, of course, we had to have a mic to ourselves. And even then, I mean, it was, you know.
Did you find out what caused these pregnancies?
We did.
Of course, if you did that show today, nothing.
That's right.
Nothing.
That's exactly right.
I'm getting married next week.
That's right. But at that time, this was 52. Early 52.
So we had breakfast in Tulare, except that it was lunch. Actually, about those maps, I know you don't need all that stuff. A big highway like 99 is well marked, but I just like to know where I'm going, that's all. It's half the enjoyment of the trip, I say. I mean, well, there's a lot of lore and legend in this section of the country, and after all, how many chances do you get? Like, take Sacramento, where we stopped off to look at the Capitol building the next morning on our way to Tahoe. Now, to me, stuff like that is something you ought to make time for. Although I guess it was my fault about what happened with the governor.
Oh, isn't this a beautiful old building?
Yeah. Look up there, inside the dome.
It'd be a long fall.
Well, no one's going to fall. There's no one up there.
I said it would be.
Violence. Maybe it is all this television, and I'm an unwilling catspaw in a vast
Dear,
conspiracy.
I don't see anyone like us.
What?
So dressed up. Aren't you hot in that suit coat?
I'm very comfortable.
Will the governor really be there?
Of course. Didn't you read the sign? He receives visitors every day at noon.
You mean just anybody?
Well, I don't think they'll let you in if you're carrying a loaded rifle.
Dear, they are going inside.
Okay.
Look, they're closing the door.
We'll get in. Now, don't panic.
Maybe there just isn't any more room.
Will you please just leave it to me?
Yes?
I'm Mr. Blackwell. I hope we aren't too late to see the governor.
Mr. Who?
Blackwell. We were just stopping through on our way from Los Angeles.
Why, of course, Mr. Blackwell. The governor will be delighted. Follow me, please.
Don't we have to go in there?
No, that won't be necessary. This way, please.
What is this?
You tell me.
Maybe he does remember you.
When did you arrive from Los Angeles, Mr. Blackwell?
Last night.
Oh, you must be on a very tight schedule.
Well, I wouldn't say exactly tight.
Right in here, please. Mrs. Blackwell?
Thank you.
Young lady? Mm-hmm. Just make yourselves comfortable. The governor won't be long. Well, I'll be back in the gym.
Oh, not at all. No rush.
Well, now, isn't he charming?
Good looking, too.
A little oily, if you ask me.
You know, I think it's just remarkable that the governor's remembered you from so long.
Well, actually, it's been less than 2 years.
Does he know you're a writer?
Well, come to think of it, I did mention my line of work. We just chatted for a moment.
Well, maybe he's seen your name on television.
I don't suppose it's impossible.
I don't know how he could have missed it with that one show about the Navy that kept running and running and running.
Well, you don't have to watch it, young lady.
Oh, I think it's good.
In fact, anyone who can sit through Love Me Tender 3 times, where they get off.
Somebody's coming.
Mr. Blackwell.
Well, that didn't take long.
I don't know how to begin apologizing.
Oh, nothing to apologize for.
No one's fault but my own, but how can I say it? I mistook you for someone else.
For someone else?
The governor's been expecting a Mr. George Blackwell from Washington, and he's just arrived.
Oh, well, my gosh.
Some kind of a civilian defense official.
Oh, it's a very natural mix-up. My name is Charles Blackwell. We were just passing through.
I can't begin to tell you how sorry
From Los
I am.
Angeles. I'm a writer myself. You may have seen my name on television.
Oh, I'm sure I have indeed. Yes, George Blackwell.
Charles. George is the other one.
Oh, yes, from Washington. This thing has got me so flustered. I pride myself that this doesn't often
Listen,
happen.
forget it. We understand perfectly.
Well, because of my blundering, you missed the public audience with the governor.
Oh, that's all right.
Daddy's met him before anyhow.
Oh, are you acquainted with the governor?
Just once. We shook hands.
Well, then the least I can do is see that the acquaintance is renewed.
No, really.
Now, just now he's in conference with Mr. Blackwell.
No, you mustn't bother.
Well, Charlie, if we've waited this long...
We have to be in Tahoe by 4 o'clock, so thank you very much, sir, but perhaps the next time we come through...
Oh, but gee,
is a very busy man, and we're on a tight schedule, so everyone this way.
Well, again, I'm sincerely sorry.
Not at all.
We enjoyed every minute of it. Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye, young lady.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Gee, I wanted to
Just
meet...
keep walking.
Charlie.
And lower your voices.
What came over you all of a sudden in there?
We're well enough out of it. I count myself lucky.
What?
In any discussion with a governor, the subject of politics is bound to come up, isn't it?
Well, what if it does?
What if it does? Helen, I just remembered in the last election I voted against him.
Oh, my, tell a story.
Well, there was a guy who used to be president of Screen Actors Guild. And I think he's still president of something or other. I don't know what. He shouldn't be. Anyhow. Yeah, I know you're talking about residuals, right? Anyhow, we were on strike for residuals, period. Ronnie was president of SAG. And while we were on strike, he came in with a package that he said, boy, we better grab this. We'll never get anything better than this. And Ronnie, as you may have noticed, is rather a persuasive speaker. And he's a fairly good-looking man, and he can sway an audience, and he was even better then than he is now. He pushed this thing through and talked everybody into buying this deal. And he had been negotiating with Lou Wasserman, who was his agent, and he was under contract to General Electric as a spokesman and an ambassador at large, a PR guy. And those are the people he was negotiating for us with. Well,
we didn't do too well.
It was a pretty horrible deal. Suffice it to say, what we got for residuals was minimal, nominal, plus which at the end of 5 runs, forget it. So we've got shows running like that. Hitchcock, I Love Lucy, Superman.
But a lot of that stuff was done from 1950 when television, I guess, started to happen, right? 50, 51, 52.
The Lucys were after that residual thing. I ran out of Lucy's 100 years ago.
Was after the residual or before?
Huh?
They were before residuals?
No, they were after residual.
Oh.
When did the good residual deal start?
The good one? Just
last couple of years.
Not more than 4 or 5 years ago. It took all those years because each 3 years that they'd negotiate, residuals and labor's increases are all based on what you got. And labor would go in like the auto workers and get a 5% raise, a 3% raise. Well, we'd go in and say, you want a 200% raise? The first radio commercials that I ever did, I got $17 for the spot, which gave them 13 weeks unlimited use. And they ran it and ran it and ran it for $17. Now, 3 years later, when they go in to renegotiate it, they ask for $35, which is nothing. For the exposure you get, you want a 100% raise? No way. We'll give you a 5% raise.
And that's only
and
for one time. That's only for recording time.
Yeah.
They use that all over the country, over and over again.
Oh, yes. Well, no, the $17 was for local. I don't know. If it was national, it would have been something like
there was another scale
$23,
yeah.
So, Sacramento. Of course, technically, I don't count that as part of the vacation. We were just sort of on our way, so to speak. It was Lake Tahoe we were waiting for, me especially. I remember when I was a kid, I used to go up to the North Woods in Wisconsin. Tall pine trees, spring-fed lakes, boating, swimming, aquaplaning. And it said in the brochure there was aquaplaning at Tahoe. I couldn't wait. At 10 o'clock the next morning, I was down at the pier, rearing to go.
Oh, just look how clear that water is.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Looks cold.
It's bound to be a little cold. See all that snow on the mountaintops?
You Mr. Blackwell?
Yeah. Yeah, you the boy who's going to handle the boat?
Uh-huh. Which kind do you want?
Which kind of what?
Water skis. You want to go water skiing, don't you?
No, aquaplaning.
You don't want to go water skiing?
No, I want to go aquaplaning. Don't you have an aquaplane?
Just water skis.
There's no place around here we could rent an aquaplane?
Just water skis.
I'll go ahead, Dad. I'll bet it's fun.
Okay. Where's the skis?
Here in the locker.
Oh, is it all right if we ride along in the boat?
Well, I guess so. Sure.
Here. Just put your feet in the rubber things.
Okay. Then, how do we get started?
Well, you have to be in the water.
Yeah, I figured on that.
You get into the shallow water here, and after you got the skis on, you take hold of the rope, and I pull you.
That's all there is to it?
Well, it helps if you keep your knees together and lean forward.
Uh-huh, good enough.
When you get in the water, I'll throw you the rope.
Okay.
Is it all right for us to get in the boat?
Sure.
Well, here I go.
What's the matter, Daddy? ready?
Ooh.
Is it cold, dear?
Ooh. I wonder how the fish can stand it.
Here's the rope.
Well, wait. Ooh, no. No. I'm not ready yet.
Just warming up the engine.
Boy, this is the life, huh, kids?
Off they.
Oh, it's such a beautiful morning. I'm surprised we're the only ones down here.
I'm not.
Are you ready?
Oh, wait. I got one ski turned around.
Dear, are you sure you want to do this?
Listen. My only chance of getting out of the water is to stand up on these. I gotta take it.
Say when.
Knees together. Lean forward. Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, okay. Wait. Knees together. Faster. Up. I'm almost up. Whoa. Hey, my feet are spreading apart. Wait. Oh!
Let go of the rope.
Are you all right, dear?
Never better.
You were really up there for a moment.
Which moment was that?
You want to try it again, mister?
Certainly. I think I got the idea now.
Charlie, it looks awfully strenuous.
Don't be silly. Swing the boat around, son. I need a little exercise. After all, what's a vacation for? Great place, Tahoe. We plan to go back again next year. Wonderful for kids. Tall pines, spring-fed lake. Boating, water skiing. That's for kids, too, that water skiing. But I'm glad I tried it. I say if you don't try things, you're not living. Of course, Helen was right. It was a little strange.
After the episode ended, Joan Leslie came back on with the final PSA in family theater history.
This is Joan Leslie again. We all admire those who are willing to sacrifice themselves to help others, those who are generous and unselfish. A kind deed is more than the good that is done at the moment, for kindness is something that is passed on from one person to another and can go on circulating through the world. People who are cheerful and self-sacrificing are giving to others an inspiration that is passed from one generation to another, an example that can inspire men and women everywhere. And in a home where parents are thoughtful and unselfish, where children are appreciative and thankful and generous, there's a true happiness, despite the disappointments and the difficulties of daily life. That's the way every home should be, the way our homes will be if we have started the daily practice of family prayer. Because with God's help, with God's blessing, the family that prays together stays together.
More things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of. Family theater is broadcast throughout the world and originates in Hollywood. This is Mutual, the world's largest network.